Today, we're doing a fantasy draft with every NBA legend, past and present, involved. Let's get into it. The Sacramento Kings have the first pick. They select Kareem. MJ goes to the Magic. LeBron goes third overall to the Nuggets. The Big O goes to the Hawks. Tim Duncan to the Raptors, Kobe to the Pistons. You get the gist. This draft is going to be absolutely insane. So I'm going to simulate all the way until the end of the draft, and then we're going to look at the new rosters that have formed as a result of this. The draft is over. Let's check out some of these rosters. The Sixers have a big three of Dirk, Embiid, and the Brody. How did Joel still end up in Philadelphia? In Milwaukee, you've got D-Rob, Melo, and Dame. Okay, does 2K have the script or something? Dame is with the Bucks? What does 2K have going on? How did Scottie end up in Chicago? He's playing alongside Karl Malone, Nate Archibald, and Klay Thompson. So this time, Scottie gets to be the best player in Chicago. The Cleveland Cavaliers add John Stockton, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, and Chris Webber. Larry Bird and Steph Curry, two of the greatest shooters ever, are playing together in Boston, and somehow Bird ends up with the Celtics, even in a fantasy draft. Kawhi's with the Clippers. Jokic is here as well. Book is on the Clippers. The Grizzlies have Rick Barry, T-Mac, and Agent Zero. A lot of scoring here in Memphis. It's Unibrow AD in Atlanta playing alongside Chris Mullin and the Big O. You've also got B. Roy and Draymond Green. The Miami Heat have a dynamic duo of Chris Paul and Jason Tatum. Bradley Beal is also here. If you guys didn't know, JT and Beal used to be like childhood friends. In Charlotte, you've got Luka and Kevin McHale along with Joe Dumars and Artis Gilmore. Utah gets Dr. J and Pete Maravich, but they also get Victor Wembanyama. Tony Parker is here, a Spurs legend, playing alongside Wemby. Prime Derrick Rose is playing alongside Kareem. That pick and roll is about to be insane. Magic Johnson is in New York, playing alongside Amari and Bob McAdoo. The Lakers have Penny Hardaway, Jerry Lucas, and Moses Malone. MJ is in Orlando, playing alongside Bill Walton and Paul George. Also Tyrese Halliburton. This Mavs team is pretty nice. You get a lot of shooting around Giannis with Ray Allen and Marc Gasol. You also get a playmaker in Isaiah Thomas. The Brooklyn Nets have quite a few old players with Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and George Mikan. We'll see how Mikan does in the modern era. LeBron James is in Denver playing alongside Wes Unseld and Mitch Richmond. Chauncey is also here. This Indiana Pacers team has some cool players like Boogie Cousins and Big Z. They've also got Clyde Drexler, Dominique Wilkins, a lot of dunkers on this squad between Big Z. They call him Clyde the Glide for a reason. And then you've also got Dominique Wilkins. The Pels have Walt Frazier, John Havlicek, and Dwight. Kobe is on the Pistons playing alongside Pat Ewing and Grant Hill. Also Dennis Rodman is here. Tim Duncan is in Toronto playing alongside The Truth and Willis Reed. Ginobili still with Tim. The Houston Rockets defense is gonna be nasty. You got Bill Russell and Gary Payton. And then you've also got George Gervin. Oh, this team is about to lock down everybody. Kevin Durant is in San Antonio playing alongside Bob Pettit and Dennis Johnson. You've also got D. Mitch. There's Yao Ming as well. Wilt Chamberlain is here in Phoenix playing alongside James Worthy and Jason Kidd. You've also got Shawn Kemp. John Wall is here. Ant-Man is here. This is a nice team. The Oklahoma City Thunder get KG. Bob Cousy. Is he going to be able to survive the modern era? I don't think JJ Redick will think so. Do y'all remember when him and JJ were beefing? Hakeem Olajuwon and Kyrie Irving. Talk about a good pick and roll. Steve Nash, D Wade, and Dave Cowens are in Portland. This Warriors team is nice. Ja Morant is here. You've got AI, Shaq. The Washington Wizards get VC, David Thompson, and SGA. You've also got Powell and Elton Brand. And that wraps it up for the roster breakdown. One more thing I want to mention before we get into the simulation simulation is that free agency is off for this video, meaning that all players will remain with the teams that they started with. Let's get into the playoffs for year number 1 of the greatest league ever. Season is wrapped, and even in the greatest league ever, Luka Doncic had to find a way to win MVP. Wemby won Rookie of the Year over in Utah. Fat Lever was Sixth Man of the Year, and Bill Russell won DPOY. Paolo was named Most Improved. I don't really understand how, but we'll just keep it pushing. And Dominique Wilkins was Clutch Player of the Year. Darvin Ham was Coach of the Year. You know, he's known as a coaching mastermind. Here's what the All-NBA first team was looking like. Honestly, not what I expected. No LeBron, no Kareem, no Michael Jordan. You've got Luka, Kevin Garnett, Dr. J. Oh my goodness, his stat line was crazy. Almost 62% from the field too. Bill Walton's on here as well. 8 assists a game for Bill Walton. The most he ever averaged in his career in real life was 5, but apparently he's turning into baby Jokic in this or something. And Elgin Baylor was out here averaging over 20. One of the greatest scorers in the early era of the NBA. Look at these stats, man. 38 points and 19 rebounds a game. That is ridiculous. On the second team, you've got Bob McAdoo, the Big O, Chris Webber, Wilt Chamberlain, and Scottie Pippen. No Mike or Bron so far. LeBron does make the third team, but we don't see Mike or Kareem on this third team. Magic Johnson is here. You've got Bob Cousy, so he's surviving the modern era against all these great players. You've got Clyde Drexler here, and then Rick Barry rounds out your third team. Here's your all defense. Michael Jordan finally ends up making an appearance, and then here is your all defensive second team. And because of this fantasy draft, we ended up with a pretty well balanced league. In the Eastern Conference, the best team only won 49 games. That was the Milwaukee Bucks with Melo, Dame, and D-Rob. In second was the Philadelphia 76ers with the Brody, Dirk, and Embiid. In third, you had the Indiana Pacers, and in fourth was the Charlotte Hornets with MVP Luka. Out west, it was the Los Angeles Lakers in the first spot with Penny Hardaway, Moses Malone, and Jerry Lucas. I didn't expect that, to be honest with you. The Spurs with Durant, Yao, and Pettit, along with Donovan Mitchell, Dennis Johnson. Yeah, this is a good team. They were the 2 seed. The Kings came in third with Kareem and Derrick Rose, and in fourth was the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's get into these playoffs. I have a feeling things are about to get crazy. In the first round, I'll stop the simulation if we get any Game 7s. And it looks like we've got one in the Eastern Conference. It's Indiana versus New York. The Knicks are led by Magic Johnson, and the Pacers are led by Clyde the Glide. And in Game 7, it's going to be all Indiana. They get a huge win. Clyde Drexler, 37-11. What a stat line he is putting up so far in these playoffs. I mean, he's playing alongside so many other stars, but he's still finding a way to get his over 30 points a night. And Magic Johnson, 10, 6, and 12 with 6 turnovers. That's not going to cut it. And now all of our round 2 matchups are set. We actually had some big upsets here in the Eastern Conference. The 8-seeded Bulls beat the 1-seeded Bucks, and the 7-seeded Nets beat the 2-seeded Sixers in a sweep. So headed into round 2, we've got the Lakers taking on the Blazers. We've got the Spurs taking on the Sacramento Kings. The Hornets are taking on the Bulls. And the Pacers are taking on the Nets. And these round 2 series got pretty crazy. The Pacers were able to sweep the Nets, but that was the only boring series. We've got 2 Game 7s here in the Western Conference and another potential Game 7 in the East. For now, though, we're about to tune into the West. We've got the Sacramento Kings taking on the San Antonio Spurs here in Game 7. And this Kings-Spurs game is coming down to the wire. With less than 20 seconds to go, we're all tied up. Derrick Rose has the ball. Rose is going to hold it for the last shot here. We're either going to have overtime or he's going to win it right now. Rose gets the screen from Abdul-Jabbar, dumps it down to Kareem, and he's fouled. There's still 2.5 seconds to go, so the Spurs could make something happen, but that is a huge play for Sacramento. There's no guarantee Kareem will make both. First one is good. Second one for Abdul-Jabbar is also good. So now the Spurs are going to have to throw up a prayer. It's going to go into Durant, KD from full court, and he almost makes it. But the Sacramento Kings are going to win this game at the foul line. It's over. They're moving on to the conference finals. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 29 points in this game. Derrick Rose, 12 and 14. Bob Pettit tried to carry, but KD was out there playing like Kevin Durant, and the Spurs end up losing. And after that game 7, we've got 2 more to tune into. The first one we're about to check out is Lakers versus Blazers. And this one is coming down to the wire with a little over 2 minutes to go. LA is up by 2. Blazers do have possession of the ball though. Rudy Gobert is inbounding. I'm surprised he gets PT in this type of league, with all due respect. And now it's going to go to D Wade. Wade to the basket on Penny, and he misses the layup. It's rebounded by Moses Malone. Now the ball goes to Kyle Lowry. Lowry gonna pull a 3 ball, and he misses. It's rebounded by David Cowens. Steve Nash has the ball for the Blazers. He gives it to Cowens. Cowens right back to Nash. Now it goes to Wade. Wade gonna get the screen from Gobert and pull a tough 2 that he ends up missing. That was a bad shot. Shout out Paul George. Now Penny Hardaway has it. Hardaway up to Lowry, and Lowry misses the layup. Kyle, you're kind of selling right now. Now Nash is gonna give it right to Wade for the Blazers. Portland running everything through D Wade, and I don't know why, because he's missing everything. Ball's gonna go to Eddie Jones. Jones on the fast break is gonna slow it up, walk back, pull a 3, and knock it down. Big shot from Jones there to give the Lakers a 5-point lead. Do the Blazers have an answer? Nash gonna get the screen from Gobert. He dumps it down to Rudy. Rudy gonna put up a layup and miss, grab his own board, and pass it out to Cowens. Cowens over to Dan Issel. Now it goes back to D Wade. Wade gonna fake a couple times, put up a floater and miss. Dwayne Wade, you are ice cold. Now Penny Hardaway's gonna give it down to Jones. Jones over to Boost. Boost to the basket, and he's blocked. It's rebounded by Gobert. Oh my goodness, ice cold D Wade puts up another shot and misses. Issel's gonna clean up his mess. An absolute trashster class from Dwayne Wade in the clutch, and the Lakers are up by 3 here. It's not out of reach for Portland. They just need to stop. Ball's gonna go into Penny Hardaway for LA. Penny gonna pull a mid-range J and knock it down. That was smooth. And now LA is up by 5. It's not looking good for Portland. No way they give it to Dwayne Wade, right? No way. McDaniel gives it into Cowens. Now it goes to Issel. It goes to Wade for a 3, and D Wade misses. How many shots did he just miss? In the 4th quarter, Dwayne Wade had 6 points, 2 of 9. I didn't see any of those buckets though. I swear he might have missed all 7 of those shots while we were watching. That is going to do it. Dwayne Wade thought he was playing for the Lakers in this one, and LA ends up winning. Penny Hardaway with 20. And now we've got one more game 7. The 8-seeded Bulls taking on Luka Doncic, the reigning MVP. And Luka shows us why he's the MVP in this one. 39, 7, and 8 as his team gets the dub. Even in an insane league, Luka Doncic finds a way to break the simulation. And now our conference finals are set. We've got LA versus Sacramento in the West. And in the East, it's going to be Indiana versus Charlotte. The Lakers make easy work of the Kings, and they're going to the finals. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, our series is all tied up at 2 apiece. And once again, we've got a close one. We're all tied up here with about 1:30 to go. Bobby Jones has the ball. He gives it over to Joe Dumars. Dumars going to dump it down to Doncic. Luka going to get double teamed. Swing it out to Jones. I guess Jones can't shoot, so he swings it back to Luka. Doncic had a lane but kind of blew it, and Boogie is going to force a jump ball. I'm guessing DeMarcus Cousins is going to win this one. He is a lot taller than Luka Doncic, and he does win it. The ball goes to Zion Williamson. Big Z finds Jamal Murray wide open for a midi, and Murray misses. And now the Hornets get the ball back. It's going to go to Joe Dumars. Dumars down to Doncic. Luka back out to Joe Dumars. Dumars gives it to Gilmore. Artis Gilmore defended by DeMarcus Cousins, swings it to Bobby Jones. Not much time left. Hornets need to take a shot. Jones is gonna have to shoot it, and he misses. JoJo White grabs the rebound for the Pacers, and now they're going to slow it down a bit, get some offense set up. White finds Cousins for a dunk. Great find from JoJo White and a strong finish from DeMarcus Cousins. And now the Hornets need a bucket. I'd assume they're going to their MVP. Doncic gets the screen from Gilmore, goes to the basket, dumps it down to Artis. A beautiful pick and roll. And Gilmore is going to lay it home. Less than 14 seconds to go, and we're all tied up. Indiana presumably will be holding for the last shot here. Zion Williamson gives it into Clyde the Glide Drexler. It looks like their star player is going to be taking this final shot. Drexler gonna get the screen up top. Not much time left. He finds some room in the mid-range and misses. That's about as clean of a look as you're gonna get in the final seconds of a game, and Clyde the Glide can't convert. So we've got more basketball. We're headed to OT. And in overtime, it was all Charlotte. Luka Doncic is going to help his Hornets get this big Game 5 win. 37-14. Joe Dumars 35-11, and Kevin McHale with 24-15. A great team effort from the Charlotte Hornets in order to win that Game 5, and now they just need one more to advance to the NBA Finals for a battle against the Lakers. Do the Indiana Pacers have an answer, or will their season end here? We're about to find out, and it looks like it's gonna end in dramatic fashion once again. A minute 20 to go here. Hornets have a 2-point lead, but the Indiana Pacers have the ball. Jason Richardson gives it into Clyde Drexler. Drexler defended by Dumars. Clyde gonna step it back for a mid-range J and knock it down. That's what the Pacers need from Clyde. He has 36 in this one. The Glide doesn't want to go home. Luka gonna fake a couple times, swing it out to Joe Dumars. Dumars over to Jones. Now it goes to Kevin McHale. McHale with not much time left gives it over to Jones. Now it goes to Dumars. Now to Doncic. Doncic in the corner, and he misses the three. Indiana with a chance to take the lead here. They're going to Clyde Drexler. Drexler over to Big Z. Zion back to Drexler. Clyde in the post puts up an awkward shot and misses. That was a bad shot. Now the Hornets have a chance to take the lead. Joe Dumars with the ball. He's gonna get the screen up top. He's looking for Luka in the post. Doncic draws the double team. He doesn't care. He gets the shot to go. A nice mid-range fade away from Luka to give the Hornets a 2-point lead here. And now with about 19 seconds to go, the Pacers need a bucket. A 3 will give them the lead. A 2 will tie it up. Clyde the Glide has it. Drexler needs to make a move soon. He's getting in his bag here. He's gonna fake. Not much time left. It goes to White for a midi, who misses. It's over. The Charlotte Hornets are going to the NBA Finals. A young Luka Doncic leading his Hornets to the NBA Finals. The MVP of the league has a chance to win the championship. 30, 11, and 11 from Luka. 2 of 12 from 3 is crazy, but he got the job done. Clyde the Glide tried his best, but it wasn't enough. And now in the NBA Finals, we've got the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. I feel like these teams are pretty evenly matched. Game 1 of the series goes to Charlotte. Game 2 will go to LA. Lakers win game 3 and 4. LA could win the chip right here, and they're gonna do it. The Lakers win the finals in 5 games. Moses Malone named Finals MVP. So Luka Doncic couldn't get the job done in the finals. He goes down to LA. What a crazy first season this was, and as we head into year 2, we won't have anyone new coming into this league. I made sure that the draft class was just all 40 overall. I don't want to add a bunch of new draft prospects in the league. I kind of just want to keep things the same. Year 1 was insane. Let's hope that year 2 is just as crazy. This guy is just too good at basketball. Another MVP for Luka. No rookie of the year because there weren't any rookies who played minutes. LaMelo Ball won 6th Man of the Year over in Minnesota. Scottie Pippen DPOY. Evan Mobley wins Most Improved. And Luka also wins Clutch Player of the Year. Lakers looking to go back-to-back as Darvin Ham wins Coach of the Year. Kareem makes first team this year. The numbers were up quite a bit from last season. Bob McAdoo hooping in New York makes first team as well. Bill Walton continues to do his thing. Baby Jokic and then Elgin Baylor went out there and went crazy for the Brooklyn Nets. On the second team, you've got Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, the Big O, Bob Cousy, and James Harden. Wait, what? How did James Harden make All-NBA 2 times? This is the same version of Harden. You see this? He's on All-NBA second team and All-NBA third team. What does 2K have going on, man? Exact same stat line, exact same player. Anyways, on the third team, it was KG, the Joker, making an appearance. I feel like we haven't heard much from him in this video. Scottie Pippen made it, and so did Bron. Here's your all-defensive teams. There goes Kobe. We haven't seen him much in this video either. Hopefully that'll change. Definitely want to see Kobe start hooping, because, I mean, it's Kobe, you know what I mean? Here's what the standings were looking like. Number 1 in the East was the Magic, led by Mike. There you go, MJ, starting to get in the mix. They got Tyrese coming off the bench. I don't really know why they would do that. I feel like he's better than Trey, with all due respect, at least in the sim. He's a 95. The Knicks came in second, led by Magic. Last year was disappointing for them. We'll see if they can bounce back. The Toronto Raptors were third, and the Atlanta Hawks were fourth. Out west, the defending champion Lakers came in first. The San Antonio Spurs were second. Last year, they got bounced out in the second round, I believe. The Phoenix Suns came in third with Wilt Chamberlain, and the Portland Trail Blazers came in fourth. AD Wade, you better not have another playoff meltdown. This is kind of random, but I feel like we've heard nothing from Steph Curry in this video. He's on the Celtics with Larry Bird, but I don't think they've really done anything so far. So we'll see if they can get into the mix, but let's get into the playoffs. In the first round, we've got 2 Game 7s, one in the East and one in the West. Out East, we're on upset watch. The 7-seeded Milwaukee Bucks are looking to beat the 2-seeded New York Knicks. Magic, if you go out in the first round again, that's a bad look. You better lock in. Magic led his team to the 2 seed, and then in the playoffs, they got smacked. David Robinson, 30 in this one. Melo with 20. He was swinging the rock. Okay, Melo. And Bailey Howell had 27. Now we've got one more Game 7 to check out in the West. It's the defending champion Lakers versus the T-Wolves. Timberwolves looking to pull off a big upset here. And it looks like the Timberwolves are going to do it. They take out the defending champions. They came out of the play-in and went ahead and did this. Dolph Shays with 27, Kyrie with 20. And now our round 2 matchups are set. We've got the 8-seeded Timberwolves taking on the 4-seeded Blazers. We've got the 7-seeded Grizzlies versus the 6-seeded Kings. So the Grizzlies just went ahead and upset the 2-seed, and the Kings upset the 3-seed. Then out east, we've got the Hawks taking on the Magic, Mike trying to get a ring, and we've got the Nets taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. And in round 2, we get 1 Game 7. It's between Portland and Minnesota. Minnesota's definitely doing this the hard way. They had a Game 7 in round 1, and now they've got a Game 7 in round 2. But both times, they've managed to pull off the upset. So the 8-seeded Timberwolves with Kyrie Irving and Hakeem Olajuwon are making their way to the conference finals, where they'll be taking on Sacramento. Can the Timberwolves continue this magical run and make it to the finals? I guess we're about to find out. And then in the Eastern Conference, it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Orlando Magic. Michael Jordan trying to make his way to the NBA Finals, but the Bucks stand in his way. Oh man, the Timberwolves got cooked. But the Magic and Milwaukee are having a battle right now. It's all tied up at 2 apiece headed into Game 5. Let's get in the Simcast. It looks like this one's coming down to the wire. Michael Jordan is going to have to pull off some clutch time heroics to give his team a 3-2 lead. Sleepy Floyd gives it into MJ. Mike gives it right to Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton back out to Mike for a 3-ball, and Jordan knocks it down right on cue. I was talking about how they would need some clutch shots from MJ, and there he goes. But the Bucks have some guys who can show up in the clutch in Dame and Melo, so you gotta watch out for them. Lillard gonna fake. He swings it over to Hal. Hal is defended by Jordan. He's gonna ball fake, give it to Melo for a 3, and Melo misses. It's rebounded by Walton. Walton gives it to Trae Young. Trae over to Tyrese Halliburton. Hallie going to work on Tyrese Maxey, gonna pull a mid-range jumper and knock it down. The Magic now have a 2-point lead. Damian Lillard gonna get the screen from Tyrese Maxey here. Bucks need a bucket. They're gonna dump it down to D-Rob in the post. David Robinson gets the hook to go. Beautiful post work. So we are all tied up here with 30 seconds to go. Paul George gives it into Michael Jordan. Jordan needs to get a clutch bucket, as we've seen him do so many times in his NBA career. He swings it to Haywood. Haywood over to Young, who's open for a three, and Trae misses. Trae Young has probably hit that shot a million times, but he misses this time, and now the Bucks will be able to hold for the final shot. A little over 14 seconds to go here. Hal gives it into Guerin. Richie Guerin has the ball. Not much time left. Is he going to be the one taking the shot? No. He swings it to Melo for three, and Melo knocks it down. 1.7 seconds to go. Magic are going to have to throw up a prayer, and they miss. Carmelo Anthony wins the big game 5 for the Milwaukee Bucks. What a shot. Bill Walton's 30 is not going to be enough. Michael Jordan only 8 points in this one, and the Magic lose. Melo with the biggest shot of the night. And now Milwaukee is sitting on a 3-2 series lead. They can close this out in 6, or Mike and company can force game 7. And it looks like the Milwaukee Bucks are going to do it. They win. They're advancing to the NBA Finals against the Sacramento Kings. Mike tried his best, but it's not going to be enough. And in the finals here, we've got Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, David Robinson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Damian Lillard. This is going to be a good one. Game 1 of the series goes to Milwaukee. Kings take game 2 and 3. But the Bucks bounce back in game 4, setting up a big game 5 with the series all tied up. And this one once again is coming down to the wire with about a minute 30 to go. Kings are down by 4. Rose to the basket. He misses the layup. I thought D Rose had that for sure, but instead the Bucks are going to have a chance to expand their lead. Tyrese Maxey gives it down to David Robinson. D-Rob with the mismatch fades away in the mid-range and banks it home. David Robinson, a beautiful bucket to give the Bucks a 6-point lead. The Kings need to get some offense going quick. Davis gonna swing it over to Bibby. Bibby over to Williams. Back to Bibby. Mike Bibby gives it to Rose. Derrick Rose gets the screen from Kareem, pulls a mid-range and knocks it down. Very timely bucket for Derrick Rose. The Kings needed that one. But now the Bucks are looking to score once again. Damian Lillard down to David Robinson. Robinson, a deep fadeaway is good. Oh my goodness, what a shot from David Robinson. And now the Kings are down by 6. They need to go for 3. Derrick Rose going to the basket on Lillard, and he's fouled. Rose, first shot is good. Second one for Derrick Rose is also good. Kings are now down by 4. They're probably going to have to play the foul game. Richie Guerin at the line. First one is good. Second one for Richie is also good. Kings down by 6. Unless they hit a 3 here, I'm ready to say it's over. Derrick Rose defended by Damian Lillard. He gets the screen from Abdul-Jabbar. Rose gonna pull a 3 ball. He has some room and he misses. That is going to do it. Sacramento is done here. They lose in game 5, and now they'll be facing elimination headed into game 6. And in game 6, it's gonna be more Milwaukee. They end up winning the NBA championship in dominant fashion. 27 points from Melo, 25 and 10 from Lillard, and Melo is named Finals MVP. That was another really exciting season. Let's head into year 3. Season is wrapped, and I think they did one of those dumb rule changes this year where the shot clock goes down to like 10 seconds. I said goes down to 10 seconds. I meant where it goes up to like 30 seconds or something, because all the scoring went down across the league this year. Look at Wembanyama. He's on first team now. That is ridiculous. I'll be sure to undo that rule change though after the season. It won't really affect anything in terms of the hop-in games, but when you see the numbers, you're like, wow, these guys aren't that good. But it's really just because 2K has some dumb rule changes, right? Checking out some of the top teams in each conference. In the East, it was the Miami Heat coming in at the number 1 spot. At 2, you had the Washington Wizards. 3 was the Philadelphia 76ers, and 4 was the Atlanta Hawks. Out West, the Lakers were number 1 for the 3rd year in a row. At 2 was the Grizzlies. third was the Golden State Warriors, and fourth was the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's get into these playoffs. For the first round, if we get any Game 7s, I'll be sure to hop in the Simcast. I missed one of the Game 7s where the Hawks ended up beating the Charlotte Hornets by 3 points. But we do have 2 more to check out over here in the Western Conference. The first one is going to be between Memphis and Minnesota. Now, we know Minnesota. They've won their fair share of Game 7s. Last season, they won 2, so they should be built for this. They were not built for this. They ended up getting smacked. But we've got one more between the Lakers and Phoenix. No way the 1 seed goes down to the 8 seed. Last year, the Lakers lost to the 8 seed. No way they do it again. Well, the Lakers did it again. They ended up losing. And now our round 2 matchups are set. Wilt Chamberlain is here in the second round taking on LeBron. That's about to be crazy. We've got the Grizzlies taking on the Warriors. Shaq versus T-Mac. Miami's taking on Atlanta. How did Chris Paul become a 99 overall? And Toronto is taking on Indiana. The Phoenix Suns are going to sweep the Nuggets. Wilt Chamberlain's trying to win a ring. The Grizzlies beat the Warriors in 5. Raptors sweep the Pacers. And the Hawks are headed to a Game 7 with Miami after being down 3-1. And this one's coming down to the wire, so let's jump in. In round number 1, the Hawks went to a Game 7 that they ended up winning. We'll see if they can do it once again, or if Chris Paul will advance to the conference finals. Bold prediction, Chris Paul's gonna lose. We know he's not winning a ring. Evan Mobley has the ball. He's gonna put up a layup and get it to go. Miami takes a 3-point lead. The Big O has the ball for Atlanta. He was the MVP of the league this season. The original Mr. Triple-Double, working on the smaller Chris Paul, spins and gets the layup to go. That's just bully ball for the big guard, Oscar Robertson. CP3 setting it up for the Miami Heat. He's gonna get the screen from Mobley. A nice pick and roll, but Mobley misses the layup. It's rebounded by the Hawks. And now they're going right back to Oscar. He gets the screen from Chet. Robertson to the basket on Paul. He's going to swing it out to Roy. Brandon Roy is now going to get the screen from Holmgren and dump it down to Oscar Robertson. He's going to fade off of Paul and miss. And now the Miami Heat get the ball back. It's going to go to Earl the Pearl Monroe. He swings it to Evan Mobley. Mobley going to get the screen here. Playing some point forward. He spins on Holmgren. Mobley, I don't think you have the bag for that. I'm not going to lie. Just give the ball to Chris Paul and let him set it up. Earl Monroe gets the screen from Paul. Paul pops. He's wide open and doesn't shoot it. Now he's in the mid-range. He's going to have to shoot. No, he passes it to Monroe for a bad shot. It's rebounded by Daniels. Daniels out to Bradley Beal. Real deal Beal has it. He swings it over to Chris Paul. Not much time left on the shot clock. Paul going to fake. He shoots the 3. Oh my gosh, he made it. Chris Paul, I owe you an apology. I wasn't familiar with your game. I thought Paul was going to blow this game, but he went ahead and hit a huge shot. It might be out of reach for Atlanta. They probably need a 3 here. It's gonna go to AD for a midi and he hits it. Okay, there could be a chance. Hawks are gonna have to play the foul game though. Bradley Beal at the foul line. First one is good. Second one for Beal is also good. Hawks are gonna give it to Robertson. Robertson over to Mullen. Mullen gonna pull a 3 and he misses. That is going to do it. Chris Paul is going to the conference finals. Man, Chris Paul has a chance to win a ring. The Memphis Grizzlies are taking on the Phoenix Suns over in the Western Conference. Wilt the Stilt trying to make the finals. And the Miami Heat are taking on the Raptors. Chris Paul's trying to do the impossible. The Grizzlies sweep the Phoenix Suns, and the Miami Heat were up 3-1, but they're headed to a Game 7. Can Paul and company get the job done here, or are they about to lose? It looks like the Heat will win once again. Chris Paul is named Conference MVP as the Heat advance to the finals against the Grizzlies. And I think the Heat have more talent. Paul might do it. Game 1 of the series goes to the Grizz. Grizzlies take Game 2. Never mind. I was believing in Chris Paul for a second, but he ended up getting swept. T-Mac averages 10 points per game and wins Finals MVP. Yeah, man, it is time to change back that rule. Get the shot clock back to 24 seconds. Adam Silver would be crying in his office if the shot clock was actually 30 seconds. The league might average 3 viewers. But anyways, let's head into season number 4. This is going to be the final season of the video. We've had some crazy years so far. Hopefully we get another one. Luka is back winning MVP. Amen Thompson wins Rookie of the Year. He hasn't played all video. He finally got his chance. Kiki Vandeweghe, 6th Man of the Year for the Nuggets. Scottie Pippen, DPOY. He's had that on lock in this video, hasn't he? Scottie Pippen takes home DPOY. Paolo, Most Improved Player. Hasn't he won that twice? And Wilt Chamberlain wins Clutch Player of the Year. Lewis Johnson, Coach of the Year. As we go through these All-NBA teams, I have a question for you guys. Do you all think Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game was real? Because I've been seeing people recently saying the 100-point game wasn't real. And I think it's real. This man will average 50 points per game for an entire season. You're telling me he couldn't put up 100 one time? Unless the 50 point per game season was fake too. But then we're having a whole different conversation. So anyway, let's get into these playoffs. The Miami Heat trying to make it back to the finals and win this time, but they're not going to because they have Chris Paul. The Orlando Magic are second with Michael Jordan. This is your last chance to get a chip, Mike. In third was the Atlanta Hawks, and the Washington Wizards were fourth. Out west, the number 1 seed was the Phoenix Suns, led by Wilt Chamberlain. LA came in second. They've been such a good regular season team throughout this video. The Memphis Grizzlies came in third, and the Clippers came in fourth. And in round 1, we've got a ton of competitive series going. Our first game 7 we're going to tune into is between Washington and Charlotte. Luka has been in his fair share of game 7s throughout this video. We'll see if he can get the dub in this one. It looks like the Wizards are going to take care of the league MVP in the first round. Downtown Fred Brown is going to go ahead and get the dub for Washington. And I thought we were going to have a bunch more game 7s, but all the other series ended up finishing out in 6. The 8-seeded Blazers took down the 1-seeded Suns, which is crazy, but I feel like we've seen a ton of 1 versus 8 upsets. In round 2, we've got the Clippers taking on the Blazers in the West, and then we've got the Lakers taking on the Grizzlies. In the East, it's going to be Miami versus Washington, and then we've also got Atlanta versus Indiana. In round 2, we ended up with 1 game 7. It's between the Hawks and the Pacers. Let's get into it. Atlanta is going to get the dub in this one. A 12-point win as AD drops 28 and 12, and the Hawks will move on to face the Miami Heat. In the West, we've got Memphis versus the Clippers. After 4 games, the Heat and the Hawks are all tied up headed into game 5. So let's jump into it. Miami is going to dominate in this one. They are 1 game away from making it back to the NBA final. And game 6 is going to come down to the wire with a finals trip on the line. We've got about a minute to go here. Heat are up by 2 and they have the ball. Jason Tatum has it. He's defended by Holmgren. Tatum going to the basket on Chet, swings it out to Beal. Beal over to Barrett. Now it goes back to Bradley. Beal dumps it down to Monroe. Monroe, the layup is good. That's Earl the Pearl, man. A big bucket. I just realized we had this matchup before. Oscar Robertson working on Paul, swings it over to Brandon Roy. Roy is defended by Monroe. He's going to get the screen from Chet Holmgren, but he's not using it. Brandon Roy to the basket, high off the glass, and he gets the 2 to go. The Hawks do not need to foul here, but 2K is stupid, so they might end up doing it. Chris Paul, we're gonna swing it over to Jason Tatum. Tatum, defended by Holmgren, gonna step it back close to the basket and knock it down. That was a huge shot from JT to give the Miami Heat a 4-point lead. Do the Atlanta Hawks have an answer? Paolo gives it into Brandon Roy. Roy gonna pull a short jumper and miss. It looks like the Miami Heat are headed back to the NBA Finals. Will they get the job done this time? We're about to find out. But not before we get into this game 6 between the Grizzlies and the Clippers. Clippers are currently up 3-2. They can close it out right here. But the Grizzlies said no. We're headed to a game 7. But then the Clippers bounce back in game 7 to advance to the NBA Finals. 33 from the Joker, and they'll be taking on the Miami Heat, led by CP3. Game 1 of the series goes to the Clippers. Clippers will take game 2. Heat win game 3. Clippers win game 4, and they beat the Heat in 5. Chris Paul doesn't win a ring. The Joker is named Finals MVP. That's it for the video. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.